All right, the NBA draft is on Tuesday. A lot of anticipation for that. The top 4 picks are widely viewed to be generational, franchise-changing talents. Who goes number 1? Still, from what I'm told, very much up in the air. Been plenty of gamesmanship going on. We know Darren Peterson has decided to only work out for the Washington Wizards, who are drafting at number 1. Most people I talk to, they really like AJ Debinsa as the number 1 pick, the forward out of BYU. There's also Cam Boozer, who might be the most NBA-ready prospect of this bunch. It's going to be very interesting when the draft starts on Tuesday night. But the real story going into draft night continues to be the future of Giannis Antetokounmpo and what exactly the Bucks do with yet another soft deadline for trading the former MVP. We know the backstory here. Bucks owner Jimmy Haslam, he indicated last month that the team would make a decision on Giannis by draft night, citing the need to have some direction for the team by then. You want to know, is he going to be here long term? Because if he is, you'll build your team one way. If he's not, you're going to look to build your team another way. So this draft day, the first round of the draft on Tuesday, is another deadline for the Milwaukee Bucks. Here's what I know about what's going on in Milwaukee. Admittedly, it's not a lot. There's a lot is being played close to the chest by the Bucks, and there's a lot of stuff out there right now that I don't necessarily believe. I think I can say pretty unequivocally that right now the Bucks are not in love with any of the offers that are on the table. I mean, Miami, they have been very public in its pursuit of Giannis Antetokounmpo, but I don't believe the Bucks love a Tyler Hero-centered package. I mean, Tyler Hero is a good player, but he's a flawed player, and he's going to be up for a pretty big contract in the near future. Similarly, any deal with Boston that's been floated out there would logistically have to include Jaylen Brown. And as great a player as Jaylen Brown is, does it make sense for a rebuilding team to take on a soon-to-be 30-year-old Brown when you're going into a full rebuild? Now, maybe you could bring Jaylen Brown in, who's got 3 years left in his contract, keep him on board, maybe trade him down the line. There could be obvious rationale for there. Not everything has to be done in one transaction for Giannis. It can be multiple transactions that rewards down the road. But I've been skeptical for a while about just how serious Boston is about doing a Jaylen Brown Giannis swap, especially when the Bucks are going to be looking for, I think, a lot more than just Jaylen Brown, which brings me to what I think they do want, which I know they do want. The Bucks want draft picks. They want high draft picks. They want high draft picks in this year's draft. Right now, what they want is just not really out there, at least not yet. So the question could become over the next 24 hours, does Milwaukee simply take the best offer that's on the table? Do they just do a deal to get it over with? Another team very much could make a late push. We have heard in the past about Minnesota, about Golden State, maybe Houston. Who knows? The Lakers can get involved. Any of those teams could make a strong offer. Or does Milwaukee have the gumption to kick the can down the road again? I mean, we know the circumstances here. Giannis can opt out of his contract just about a year from now. But the Bucks in October can also dangle a 4-year contract extension that's probably worth around $275 million-ish for Giannis, which, could be appealing to a player that has been dealing with soft tissue injuries over the last couple of years and might be looking at the last big contract of his career. Giannis may not want to be there anymore. I tend to believe he doesn't, mostly because this team is not in a great position to win. But $300 million is $300 million. And if you can get that in a 4-year deal, maybe Giannis is inclined to accept it. It could make for an interesting game of chicken if the Bucks decide that they were willing to wait a few more months or longer for this thing to play out. If I was a betting man, and this is just kind of tea leaf reading right now, I say the Bucks do a deal here. I think they probably know, like most people, that they're not really one piece away from competing for a championship. Yes, the East is wide open. The Knicks proved that anything is possible. You can be the third seed, win the East, go on a run, and beat the vaunted San Antonio Spurs in 5 games. A lot can happen in the course of a season. Giannis is still a great player, an MVP candidate. So maybe you add a small piece to the puzzle, you find a way to get back on top in the Eastern Conference. I just don't think the Bucks really believe that. And I think as we get closer and closer to the start of the draft on Tuesday, I do think you're going to see multiple teams come forward with their best and final offers. Maybe they're going to be sweetened offers from offers that are on the table right now. And I think the Bucks ultimately pull the trigger. Anything is possible. The Bucks have certainly proven that they're not afraid to walk away from any deal. They did it at the trade deadline. They could do it again, but we are so far down the road here with Giannis. It is so clear that this situation is past the point of no return. When you have an owner like Jimmy Haslam come out and put a deadline like that out there like he did last month, that just tells me that this team wants to get this over with. And I think one way or the other, we're going to see the Bucks do a deal for Giannis before Tuesday's draft.
Hit subscribe for more news, highlights, and analysis from the NBA on NBC.